From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up!
warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
and this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by
Vitamin energy.
The vitamins.
The energy.
Now here's warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi.
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. Coming up on today's show, the Noles win the off week as their toughest foes appear a bit more human. Has the play of Tommy Castellanos been every bit as good as the standout quarterback play we saw this past Saturday? And when second choice may actually put your interests first. Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. WarchantBogo, your promo code. When you go to vitaminenergy.com, you buy one, you get one free, everybody. That's how easy it is. And it's so easy to get your day energized when you take Vitamin Energy. It's one little bottle, not even 2 full fluid ounces. I don't even have to take the whole thing. I take like half the bottle, and I feel great all day. Take the whole thing. You'll get 260 milligrams of all-natural caffeine. It will digest evenly throughout your day to give you the energy you need, plus the vitamins on top of it with none of the sugar, no GMOs either. Vitamin Energy, it's the goods. WarchantBogo, your promo code, buy one, get one free. Warchant.com, ultimate Seminole sports source, $1 for 1 week and a year subscription to The Athletic. What are you waiting for? Your Noles didn't even play a football game, and they're going to be inside of the top 10, I think, by the next time Corey and I get together. And we weren't going to get together today for a show, but then Corey's like, hey, man, it's the Noles, top 10 team. A lot of big games happened over the weekend, and it does involve, obviously, the fortune and the faith of Florida State. So why not get together and do a show? So we're doing a show before a guy's trip for our dude. But in the meantime, how are things, Corey?
They're great, buddy. They're great. Thank you so much for asking. What a fun weekend that was to watch some football.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's start, I guess, maybe big picture-ish. It's hard not to feel better, right, if you're a Florida State fan after this weekend slate of games about getting to Charlotte, competing for a national title, if you want to take it a step further. But I guess maybe we should focus on the getting to Charlotte aspect of it. I still think Clemson's going to be a pain in the ass. There's a good Georgia Tech team. It just is.
Yes.
Florida's defense played their freaking tails off. I don't know how many times EJ Lagway is going to throw 5 interceptions, but all these things are now kind of trends, man. Like, that's 2 bad games out of Lagway. That's a game where Clemson's offense, we've got one game of Clemson's offense playing really bad, really poorly, right, against LSU, and then we have their defense not really rising up as many times as they would need to against Georgia Tech. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not booking a hotel to Charlotte if I'm a Florida State fan right now, but I'm probably leaving that first Saturday in December open.
Well, yeah, I definitely think you should be doing that. But, yeah, I don't think it's time to book yet. This team hasn't even played an ACC game yet. But when you look around the conference, Clemson looks, above average, but nothing special, right? Kind of like what they were last year, honestly. Except last year, I think their offense looked better after that first week against Georgia, but it looks dismal. It looks dismal. Like, they were getting shut out with, I want to say 5 minutes to go in the first half, and they were facing a 3rd and 22. And they hit a 30-yard run on a draw, just like they wanted to get yards, but basically it was a give-up call to try to get some more room to punt. And the kid hits a 30-yard run, which was by far their best running play of the day, and they end up scoring a touchdown then. And then it's kind of game on, and the offense was not bad the rest of the way, but it wasn't anything special. And the quarterback doesn't look like he's anything special. And so that makes that game imminently more winnable because as you stand here right now, and again, we're in the middle of September, a lot of things happen between now and then. It's dumb to get too far ahead of yourselves because you haven't even beaten Virginia yet. But you think like the way they're playing right now, Florida State has the better quarterback in that game. The Miami game, not so sure. Carson Beck is playing really well.
He's a good quarterback after all.
What he is, though, he's an NFL quarterback when he gets time to throw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he can slice and dice you apart. And in most offenses, you don't get a ton of time to throw. And you do need a guy that can move around and is mobile and can make plays with his feet. Look around the country, man. They all have them. Carson Beck isn't that, but so far he hasn't needed to be that. He lights you up with his right arm. And if he gets time to throw, he is going to light every team up with his right arm, it would appear. The beauty is that you don't know that he's going to have a ton of time to throw. against Florida State. So that's what gives you a lot, hope in that game for sure. They haven't been on the road yet. But yeah, if you're looking at the three rivals, Miami certainly appears to have the best quarterback, and they appear to be the best team. But you're right, man. Florida's defense played its tail off. You throw 5 interceptions, one is a pick six, and you only give up 20 points. Come on, man. That Florida defense is legit, I think, and the Clemson defense we know is legit. The deal with Florida as we think about that game after Thanksgiving is, have they given up on the season by there? Is Napier even on the team? Is Lagway still playing? Like, have they just given up and cashed in all their chips already before that game is played? Clemson and Miami are going to be very tough. The Georgia Tech game almost didn't sway me at all, one way or the other. I'm like, yeah, Clemson's going to have a really good defense. They're going to play really hard, and that offense can make plays. You're going to have to play well to win.
Fair, yeah. Way to sum it up, man. And
yeah, thanks, buddy.
What's going on over in Tuscaloosa is Ty Simpson on the Jaden Daniels trajectory of 2023? Is every SEC team, is the father of the quarterback going to be like, hey, I really want you guys to schedule Florida State for the opener? Probably will lose,
right?
But then my son's going to catch on fire and probably win the Heisman. Dude, I think, didn't Ty Simpson go like a perfect 17 of 17 against, I get it, Louisiana Monroe, but then against Wisconsin on Saturday, 24 for 29 with 4 touchdowns. That's an 83% completion percentage, 382 yards. And I know Wisconsin hasn't found their footing under Luke Fickell, but that's still a decent team. I mean, they're probably Virginia adjacent. That's another curious thing to kind of keep an eye on, especially when we're going to maybe start talking about at-large spots, I would think. Because, again, if Florida State wins a conference, everything is all good. But if you slip up against Miami and then lose to NC State or something like that, and you're kind of in the position Miami was last year where you're jockeying back and forth, I hope Florida State gets full credit for an Alabama victory if Ty Simpson ends up winning the Heisman or Alabama ends up being one of the better teams in the SEC.
Well, you can hope you can hope in one hand and take a big crap in another, and see which one fills up first. Yeah, man, I'm not hopeful of that at all. We just lived it 3 years ago as well. You beat a big blue blood SEC team to start the year. By the middle of the year, they're saying, but actually by week 3, they're saying, well, that wasn't the same Alabama team. I mean, there's just always a reason they lost. And it's never because, wow, that team they played must be pretty good. It's no, they caught them at the right time, which also could be true. But that's not how life works. You can't go in hypotheticals like if they played today. Well, no, they didn't play. They can't play today. They played August 30th, and one team was clearly better. Will that matter in early December? I doubt it. I wrote in a column that was on Warchant this week that I feel like if Alabama and Florida State are both 10-2, and they're both vying for that 12th spot, I wouldn't expect Florida State to get it at all, even though they played, because the game, that was a different team. They're playing better now. They're 10-1 in their last 11, whatever it is. So they're playing better here at the end of the season. That first game didn't matter. So I don't suspect that at all. But I do think it gives what Alabama's done these last 2 weeks, especially this past week, give some credence that maybe that was a really good win for Florida State after all. It wasn't a down Alabama team. Now, it might still be a down Alabama team. Like, I don't know how much is proven against ULM and then a bunch of, let's just say non-athletic Big Ten defenders trying to guard Ryan Williams and the other guy, who were awesome, by the way. That other guy's, I think he's going to be a first-round pick.
Jeremy Bernard, yeah, man. He went 4 for 6.
And then Ryan Williams looked like Ryan Williams again. So that I think that should fill Florida State fans with a little bit of hope and a little bit of sticking your chest out, because that Alabama team looks legit again. That was a great win. That could end up being one of the best wins of the season by the time the year is over. But again, we'll see, right? Ty Simpson's looked good at home against 2 teams that had no chance to compete with his guys athletically. Let's see what it looks like in 2 weeks in Athens. It's the SEC. He's got some tests coming up. But, he's passed these next 2 and looked really good doing it, so that's good. And then back to Florida, man. What do you make of that? What do you make of what that kid looked like on Saturday night? That was bizarre.
At a certain point, you have to almost protect the kid from himself. And I don't think he wanted to keep throwing the ball like that. They just kept dialing up pass plays. they were running the ball okay. I mean, it was only a 2-possession game and never got out of control where, like, listen, you had to have some urgency there, I think, when they got the ball with maybe like 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. But at some point, like, just dial up some more safer plays. It kept having him throw these slants across the middle where, the LSU safeties were able to trigger and break it up and knock the ball around, and then you're getting all these interceptions. But, I did not think he had that kind of stuff in him, right? We keep talking about Florida State. Maybe he's got the special stuff in them. I didn't know that DJ Lagway had the self-destruction stuff inside of him. To know that quarterback is capable of being confused, forcing the ball, if it's a big game against Florida State, it always is, but, maybe it takes even added importance for them. It's not too much of a stretch to think that Florida State could rattle him and then create some turnovers and maybe win comfortably in the Swamp, if we want to get really excited.
I mean, just the way he played, though, man. It's not like that he had a bad game. It was almost...
It was Ricksian. That's hard to throw our guy under the bus, man. That was like Ricks against the Miami teams, like in the early aughts. Like
and maybe this LSU defense is awesome. Like they did, I mean, I don't know. Clemson's offense isn't anything to brag about shutting down, but they have played 3 games now and I think given up 3 touchdowns. So they're good. But the decisions he was making, after you've thrown 3 interceptions, aren't you a little safer with the ball? And he's just like arrogantly, flippantly just throwing it up off his back foot, not just like almost like he does not care about the repercussions of his actions. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's a weird way to frame it when it comes to a quarterback, but it's like at some point there's 80 guys on the team, man. Think about them before you just loft it up willy-nilly to a good defensive secondary, a defensive backfield. Like, what? And then every time they'd show Napier on the sideline talking to him. Well, that's not working either.
No.
Quit doing that, Billy. Tell him to go F himself. Get his head out of his ass. Like, do something. Don't just sit there and whisper into his ear. Like, at some point you feel like it's just like, I don't know, man. It was almost defiant. The way he would just throw, because he threw 5 picks, Aslan. He could have thrown 9.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a really dumb. Like it was not a good offensive strategy. But to me, it seems like there's something more there than just he had a bad game and he wasn't seeing it. It was almost to me like he didn't care that he was having a bad game, and he didn't care to make the right read or a different read or the next read. Who gives a crap? It's just football. We're just having fun. It's just sports. Yeah. And just throwing it up, and that was really bizarre to watch because that defense did play its tail off, man. They honestly deserved to win the game.
LSU, I think, only had 9 first downs, Corey, and they won the game by 2 scores.
Don't ask Brian Kelly about that, by the way.
Oh,
did you see that reaction?
No.
He went off. Well, to his defense, the very first question after his opening statement, where, of course, he talked about the offensive struggles a little bit, but very proud of his team. The defense was great, 5 picks, great Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. The first question is about the offensive struggles. And
even I wouldn't have done that, Corey. Even I would not have asked that question that soon. That's the thing.
Now, he looks like he goes off the handle. And just as typically Brian Kelly, you're just spoiled. I can't believe you asked that question. But blah, blah, blah. We won the game. We're here to win the game. Like, he went off on this nonsense. He could have answered the question. But the right play there, even because I can be in that point and be like, are you really asking me that right now, man? We're number 3 in the country, and we're undefeated, and we just won a really fun, entertaining game, and our defense had 5 picks. And your first question that you're asking me is about the offense? Ask me that again in 10 minutes. Yeah. Next question. All right. You know what I mean? Like, I could see that, and but it's Brian Kelly. He doesn't have he can't compartmentalize
zero
like that.
Chill, as the kids
at
used
all.
to say.
Or just say, yeah, man, the offense wasn't great. Next question. If you want to do that. But, I mean, I would point out how dumb it is that they can't run the ball, or how dumb it was to ask that question right off the bat as if the win didn't matter, because that's how it comes across. It's like you don't care about the win. You just care that the offense was bad, which is a fair question. The offense has to get better if LSU's going to win anything of importance this year. But to start out with that question, as somebody that's been in 200 of those things, I understand that. Yeah. I understand that. So anyway, so he was upset. But look, man, we wondered if they would play for Napier. Well, they did. The quarterback just almost sabotaged it. So that's what I just couldn't get over that. Those throws, it wasn't like you could tell when he let go of the ball before you even see where he's throwing it. You're like, oh no, that doesn't look good. Just I don't know, man.
He was
just the way
hoping against all hope. Yeah, it was just like, this cannot possibly get any worse. Like, I'm due. I'm going to just rip it, and something good's going to happen. It was like being on tilt at the poker table. Like, you just kept losing. You're like, all right, more. It's like, dude,
but at some point, don't you check it down? Don't you? Because he made a couple of really nice throws. His touchdown throw was a great throw. But then, he followed it. So anyway, as we're now, 3 games into his sophomore season, Lagway has 17 touchdown passes and 15 interceptions in his career. In 3 of those touchdowns, and none of those interceptions came against Long Island. So take away Long Island, my man has 14 touchdown passes and 15 interceptions in his career. He might just not be it. Is how the kids would say it. Maybe he's not him. But yeah, man. So as we move forward to this week, and we'll talk about Florida State in a second, obviously. But we didn't have anything to watch this weekend. What do we think of that Florida-Miami game, Aslan?
Ooh,
I think game day is going to be there.
Really?
Which is insanity. Florida's 1-2, but yeah.
I mean, it's in down Miami Gardens or whatever. I think Miami wins. I don't know if it'll be as lopsided as what they did to USF, but I mean, I think Miami's kind of they've built an identity. It feels like they've got those disruptive defensive ends. They've got a good safety. They're got a platoon of running backs on offensive line, like Carson Beck, all these different. I don't know if they have like an elite wide receiver, but they just seem to have a bunch of like good college wide receivers. So yeah, I don't know what Florida can hang their hat on. I mean, Lagway's going to get pressured. Right? Yeah, defense. But I mean, like Lagway's going to get. I mean, I don't know. Unless they just go like max protect, right? And he's still going to have to make some challenging throws if they go in max protect, because he's not going to have as many receiving options to combat the numbers that Miami's going to have on the back end. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they cover. I'm not saying it's going to be a trouncing, but it was one of those tricky games where I'm like, well, I know it's at home for Miami, but I would not guarantee a victory by any means. But again, listen, we're sitting here talking about how we feel about Florida State's going to look in the next several weeks. If you're a Miami fan, you're licking your chops, yeah.
For this game, yeah. I do think, though, credit to Napier, man, in the sense, are those guys on that team. No credit to him. He's got a losing record now at Florida. But last year they started out the same way, and they never just didn't show up. They never. I don't remember any of those games. Maybe there was one where they got blown out, but I felt like every game, even when they were losing, they were competitive, hard-fought, physical games. Like, they brought it physically. Yeah. They just didn't win. Like, I remember the game at Tennessee last year when people thought, I think they were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they went to overtime. And if Lagway doesn't throw like a horrible pick when he's and then the Mertz kid got hurt, but if Lagway, when he came into sub, doesn't throw a horrible pick, they might win that game. But they were physical. They were more physical than Tennessee. They took it to Tennessee. They just lost in overtime. Mainly, I think, because Napier didn't go for 2 when he should have. He did something dumb in that game where he should have gone for the win and didn't. But his teams, at least over this last stretch when he's been on the hot seat, they do seem to play really hard and physical, and that defense does fly around. I would be stunned if they won this game, but I would also be really surprised if it was not a competitive, close game in the second half. I think this is the best. I know this is the best defense Miami has played. It'll be a real challenge for them up front. It'll be a real challenge for Beck and those receivers. And we'll see what happens, but we're going to keep an eye on it. Like, that's a really big game, and it's also Miami's last game before the FSU game. So there's another reason to watch it. And it also works out, Aslan, that it's Saturday night. So we'll be done with Kent State. Nice. Be done with the Warchant wrap and be able to belly up to the bar somewhere, probably corner pocket, let's be honest, and watch your 2 rivals go at it, and one of them has to lose, which will probably be Florida.
Corner Pocket's located at 2475 Appalachia Parkway, also on the internet at cptallybar.com. You can check out the menu, see all the delicious options they have, entrees, appetizers, the whole gamut, as well as their social calendar. As we all know, trivia going down Tuesday night, 7 p.m., bingo night Thursday, 7 p.m., 4 rounds of bingo, $250 cash money up for grabs in each single round. Weekday happy hours from 4 to 7 p.m. and then all day Sunday, We'll also be hanging out at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Friday. And I say that kind of in a weird way. I don't know why I did that, Corey, but you're always there. Jeff's there a lot of times. So's Tom, but we're going to do the Warchant meet and greet because it's a home game. Everybody, the Noles back taking on the Flashes of Kent State. Come on out 5 o'clock, say hi. And again, fuel up. Delicious food, ice cold drinks, great people. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. We're back. It's Wake Up Warchant. It's presented by Vitamin Energy, warchantbogo, your promo code. Corey, how come you didn't ask me how my weekend was?
Oh, my bad, man. My fault. Well, I never do. If I usually did, I would, but I don't, so I didn't. But, yeah, how was your weekend, buddy?
This is bittersweet. It's bittersweet. So I've been trying to install these soft close drawer slides, and I've purchased like 3 different brands. And every time I tell Abby, I'm like, this is it. I got it. It's going to work. I figured it out. I don't figure it out. And nothing makes me feel more emasculated than when I just fail at a home improvement project. So that cast a specter on me all weekend long. That's the bitter part of it. Sweet part of it is I'm now engaged. I have a fiance.
Congratulations. Well done. I knew that was or at least I knew the question was coming. That's awesome, Aslan. I think people are very excited. I think you probably should have led the show with it and not done it after the corner pocket. Or me talking about Carson Beck for 3 minutes.
That's fine.
But when I asked you about your weekend, finally, and you start and you're like, it was bittersweet, and I'm like, oh no, did the dad say it was okay, but she said no? And then you start talking about what clothes. I'm like, of course, Aslan. Why would you bring up the really important stuff? But you did. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we
when's the date? When's the big day?
I think we're targeting summer 26. We're gonna do this pretty quick. We're gonna fast track this bad boy. But we'll see how it goes. We got to find a venue and all these sort of things. But
Corner pocket.
Yeah. Literally, the week before, my friends are like, one buddy got nostalgic because Florida State's doing great in football, and he misses hanging out with everybody. He's like, I'm just waiting for Aslan to get married so he can have a bachelor party and a wedding, and we can all get together.
Oh, yeah.
Aslan, you need to throw your bachelor party in Tallahassee. And then Mike's like, dude, he lives there. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, I'll get us a table at Potts. I'll take one for the team.
Damn right. But you can go up to recess.
Yeah. Throw me in the pool. Yeah, that should be the thing, right? Like when you're 21, you get dunked into the Westcott Fountain. When you get engaged as a Florida State Seminole, you should get thrown into the pool
get thrown
at
into
recess.
the pool of recess. Yeah.
So.
What a way to,
So anyways, all right. With that out of the way, I just want to let everybody know things are going well. Somebody asked in the group, in the live chat the other day, too. They're like, how are things with Abby? And I didn't say anything, and I want people to think that I goofed it up. Yet.
Oh, man. Well, congratulations to her, too. She got herself
she did.
She got herself a big-time catch.
That is true. Hey, let's go back to this quarterback thing you mentioned. I guess after you watched the way that Clemson's quarterback
Did you film it?
Yeah. Okay, so by the way, I totally blacked out. I had this whole speech in mind that I was going to make, and then when it got to, the moment of truth, I'm just like, I didn't even ask her to marry me. I literally got on my knee and I'm like, I want you to marry me. So, but then I asked her like a few minutes later. She's like,
I want you to marry me. So that's a question mark.
But no, actually, I shout out to this young lady. If you guys are interested, I can't give her. I don't know if she's not a paid advertiser with us or whatever. But dude, I was looking for a photographer, and I was reaching out to sports photographers, Corey, because I was going to do it on the beach. It's where we had our first date, and I'm like, listen, I don't want any staged, I don't want you to be 10 feet away from us taking photos. I'm like, I want somebody off in the cut, just get a candid. I'm like, I just want one photo of if you can just capture me on a knee and her happy, that's all I want. And I'm reaching out to sports photographers, which I bet if I was like, can you come shoot my son playing soccer? I want one photo. They'd be like, oh yeah, sure, $150.
Yeah.
But then when you're like, it's for an engagement, they're like, yeah, $700.
Oh,
I'm like,
right.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
But I was able to work something out. So, yeah, there is I don't know, maybe by the time this is up, I'll have sent you and Steph and Ira and our Slack through work a photo of what happened or whatever. But, yeah, I did have a photographer out there to capture the moment. And then they were trying to upsell me on this, photo shoot afterwards. I'm like, absolutely not. Her hands on my chest and I'm looking off into the distance and she's gazing at me.
I could do that. I'll do that on my iPhone the next time we're all together.
Yeah, I don't want. Do that. I don't want that. So, but yeah, there was a photographer to capture the moment and everything, and she was ultimately surprised. I thought she was almost onto the scent, but she was not. And It all worked out for once for your guy.
Did she say yes, 1,000 times yes?
No, she didn't.
Oh,
She was
that's
just
too
like,
bad.
she's like, "Are you serious? Are you really asking me to marry you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Yeah." And
All
then,
right, well, that's good, man. There you go. Both of us, since this show have started, have gotten engaged.
Yeah.
And I'm married.
You're married.
All things going according to plan for you, you'll get married, too. It's summer of 2026, everyone. Stay tuned. More details to come.
Back to the football.
Yeah, enough of that nonsense. Can we start talking about stuff that's important again?
But watching Klubnik play, and he seems, I don't know, pedestrian might not be the right word, but he's just not Heisman frontrunner, which we all kind of anticipated. And I don't know, we can maybe go into a little bit of that Tennessee-Georgia game, which I wasn't able to watch a lot of because I was proposing to my, like a doofus. Missing out on the
you
game
missed
of
the
the
best
year.
game of the
Game of the year,
weekend.
brother.
Yeah.
But seeing some of those highlights, seeing like the one throw Lagway made, seeing some of the throws that Carson Beck made, it's just you feel so good about what Florida State's offense can be, Corey, because as long as they don't get pushed around on the offensive line, which, listen, they're going to go up against some tough fronts. Clemson's a tough front. Miami's a tough front. If Florida's got a competitive football team that's still engaged, that's going to be a tough front. You're probably not going to be able to have your way with them. I don't think you'll be able to bully them the way you did Alabama. Alabama, again, like I said, I thought they thought they were going to come out, punch us once, and that was going to be game over. Florida State was like, they wiped the blood off their face and they're like, all right, game on, let's go. And they punked Alabama from then on out. But just offensively throwing the ball, deep shots, explosive plays, these are the things you need to win football games in college football in this day and age. Dude, Tommy makes every kind of caliber deep throw. Like, I'm not talking about the 25-yard out, but like the 50-yard go, like the deep post. Like Tommy, when he's in rhythm and this offense, the running game is getting you confused and you're having to put more resources up front. Like Tommy's making the same caliber throws, the impactful throws that we saw. Again, listen, maybe it's not Georgia, Tennessee, iron on iron, but a lot of the great plays that I saw this past week, and I'm like, dude, our quarterback does the same thing. So that's another thing that buoyed my hopes for the Noles this year.
Yeah, that gives you a lot of hope that what he's looked like through 2 weeks, and then you look around the rest of the country. Like, I don't know who the best quarterback is. I think the kid at Oregon's pretty good, but I don't know. They haven't been in a close game yet. That's coming. I've never been sold on the kid at Penn State. The Tennessee,
Drew Aller, come on.
I mean, he's all right.
I'm
Just
with
got
you,
you got to beat somebody. Other than the teams that are always 2 touchdown or 3 touchdown underdogs. And then, Tennessee and Georgia, I think Stockton was the one that impressed me most out of the whole weekend. Not that I think he's the best quarterback in the country, but he answered a real question that you didn't know about him, and that's the Georgia quarterback who was thrust into duty last year when Beck got hurt. He had to play in the playoff game against Notre Dame and did not play well, was not ready for the moment. Tennessee, I thought he played really well. He kind of carried that team at times. He's a tough kid, too. He's a different kind of player than Carson Beck. Probably not as accurate a passer, maybe necessarily not as traditionally good in that sense.
More Stetson Bennett, more balls and guts.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but bigger, like a bigger Stetson Bennett kind of. Not as fast, but the guy that'll get you 4 yards when it's 3rd and 3 on a running play, is tough, is always falling forward, that kind of kid that can make some plays with his legs too. But he answered some questions, man. They were down, I feel like they were down 21-7 in the first quarter, and were going for it on 4th and 2 at their own 46-yard line. Like the game was about to get away from them completely, and he hits the Branch kid from USC on a really nice little slant pass, and then they go down and the offense is good the rest of the game. But in that environment, for him to play like that, he answered he's the real deal. He's an SEC quarterback, and he's good enough for Georgia to be good. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was answered because I was not sure how he would play against a real team. Well, now we know. They scored more points against Tennessee than they did Austin Peay. But 13 more. It's crazy. So that, and then I think Tennessee's good. I think both those teams are good. I think they're both playoff caliber teams. I also think A&M might be one. But it's just weird though when you look around, because you're right, Aslan. When you think about what Florida State has, they're going to go play a Virginia team that I know it was William and Mary, but Virginia just put up 700 yards. Their offense looks legit.
Yeah,
that kid might be a good quarterback, but you have a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like right now, as long as he's healthy, you feel like almost any of these games, until you're proven wrong, and look, they're not going to go undefeated probably, but I just feel like you have a guy, one of those guys that is going to find a way to make plays when it matters. And he can do it with his arm. I think his 3 best throws all year have been the throw to Lucas down the sideline against Alabama, right in stride.
Yep.
The throw to Deuce for the 80-something yard touchdown, right in stride off his back foot. And then I thought the throw to Squirrel White was a really good one. It made him have to dive a little bit, but that's not a huge window. He let him just enough where his fast guy could go get it. Like he also made a couple good throws to Pittman in that game too for first downs. Like he sees it pretty darn well, man. It would appear. Mm-hmm. But there's more and he's not going to play great every game. Jordan Travis didn't play great every game. Neither did Jameis, Winky, Ward. All of them had bad games. All of them had stinkers. The beauty with this one though is, if he's having a bad game where he's maybe not seeing it necessarily great as a thrower, well, he can still go win you a game as a runner. Mm. And that is something that Gus Malzahn is not afraid to have happen. He'll do it. And going back to this real quick, and I'll be done talking about Tommy Castellanos, the reason Georgia Tech beat Clemson was because their quarterback ran for first downs and ran for touchdowns. And he is a tough SOB that gets tough yards when it matters. Georgia Tech had the better quarterback in that game. Not by much, but they did. And they won the game. Like, it's not Haynes King isn't the only reason they won the game, obviously. But, man, what a luxury it is to have one of those guys that you trust implicitly to go get you a first down when you need a first down. And I think Florida State has one of those guys right now.
I was thinking about it. There's obviously teams that have won more football games than Georgia Tech has the last 2.5 seasons now. But there can't be a lot of fan bases that have had more fun cheering for their team the last 2.5 years than Georgia Tech because of who Haynes King is. And I think Tommy gives you a little bit of that, right? I don't know if Tommy's got the, 4th and 3, I'm going to throw my body into this wall of humanity and get on the other side for a first down. But just, again, what he said at the beginning of the season, laying down the gauntlet before the Alabama game, just the energy he plays with after he makes a big play. Like, it was crazy to see him make big plays against Alabama, look at their sideline and talk his talk, and then, dial back in 15 seconds later and make another play. Like, that's like high-level competitive, IQ, athleticism, whatever you want to throw into the blender and talk about. But just to be able to, run your mouth and, get distracted, if you will, and point something out, but then get dialed right back in and keep your team moving forward, that's impressive stuff. And, he's going to keep doing it.
I also think he's a guy that if he has a bad series or a bad play or a bad quarter or a bad game, it's not going to devolve into mediocrity. He knows he's good. He knows he's good. And again, so if he has a bad game, like if he has a Lagway type game, which I would be very upset with Norvell and Malzahn if he did. But I don't think he just starts questioning himself as a football player. He's always going to think he's the best player on the field. Always. And that is such a great strength of an athlete to have that kind of inner confidence and not fake confidence that that's you're going to win a lot more than you lose, especially when you have good players around you, when you have that kind of confidence. And the fact that he's also experienced, I don't know now, 28 college football games, however many he's played, 25 of them probably as a starter, 20, maybe all 28, I don't know. That just, you like where you sit at that position. Like Ty Simpson's looked great. I still think Florida State fans, for now, will trust, let's say, Tommy against Miami to go win a game and make the plays that win you a game, to step up when it matters. Then Alabama fans will trust him in Athens in a couple of weeks.
Well said.
But that can change. Like, again, I want to clarify that. Nothing has been written about this season, and I know I have to couch everything. But we are 2 games in, so I'm trying to – and one of them was against East Texas. So I want to try to keep to sprinkle some reality and pragmatism into the fact that we don't know for sure what this quarterback is. He's completed 22 passes or something this year. You just love what you've seen so far. You love what you've seen so far from the team, obviously, and from him, and you're going to need him to play well on the road if you're going to win these road games.
Yeah. Elsewhere across the ACC, disappointing my Pitt Panthers.
Yeah, man, they blew that game.
Yeah, backyard brawl. Still think that's going to be a tricky game after the Miami game, but West Virginia wins a backyard brawl 31-24 in overtime.
But Pitt's offense was gross.
Yeah. Well, they're always due for one.
I was thinking about that though. So they still have that Bell. Got Kerwin Bell's son as the OC.
Yeah.
I think
Cade
yeah,
Bell.
And remember how I was talking? I know you guys do. I was talking him up all last season. Like, go get him when they were 6-0. Yeah. Go get him. Look at what he's done with that offense. And now I don't know. The jury's not out on him as an OC. Like, he still might be really good. And they are 2-1. They just blew that game. But you never know, right? You never know if an OC is the real deal when they're at that level. I don't remember where he came from, FIU somewhere, Stetson. I don't remember
Western Carolina, I think.
Yeah, there you go. When you hire a guy from Western Carolina and he starts off well, you still don't know what they are. There's the sample size is too small to know if he's some sort of genius or if he's just a flash in the pan that actually isn't that good. Same thing with Brennan Marion at UNLV. Like, we were hyping him up too. I was anyway, thinking I'd be a good fit. You don't know. You can never really know if a guy is going to be what you need and if the guy is really the truth as an offensive coordinator or if he's just had a nice 1-year run or 1-month stretch and he looks better than he really is. You never really know except when you hire Gus Malzahn. You know then, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no mystery. There's no jury still out on whether Gus Malzahn can coach offense. And so I just wanted to point that out because Lord knows I talked enough about Pitt's offense last year and how that guy turned around. I thought they were dreadful on Saturday. I think West Virginia turned it over 3 or 4 times. They made 3 different switches at quarterback, and Pitt could never put the game away on offense.
Nico Marchio, former Florida State commit.
That's
Nico
right,
Marchio,
man. Big drive to tie that game and then won it in overtime. Good for him. But, yeah, so I was thinking about that. Like, yeah, that wouldn't have been a sure thing either. There aren't a lot of sure things in this world when you're going to hire offensive coaches. Gus Malzahn is about as sure a thing as you could have gone and hired.
Elsewhere, Thursday night game, I think it was, NC State went into Winston-Salem, went into Snuggy Hill, and took down the Deacs 34-24. I think Wake Forest might be a little bit more of a game opponent than I was giving them credit for, and maybe even Stanford. Stanford held off Boston College on the farm 30-20. Cal took out Minnesota, but that's not that relevant to us. Virginia Tech, man.
Yeah, man. Yep.
So
look, we're recording this in all transparency because I'm about to get on the road, so we wanted to record before NFL football. There is a chance he's been fired by the time y'all are listening to this.
Yeah.
I mean, when you come out and you're playing Old Dominion at home after you just got embarrassed by Vandy in the second half of that game, and you're down 28-0.
How about Vandy, though, real quick, taking down the Gamecocks in Bryce Williams Stadium?
Dude, that guy, and again, if they just had it, if you switched Vandy's quarterback with Pitt's quarterback, like if Vandy what's his name, Holstein?
Yeah, Eli Holstein. Yeah.
And I don't know why I'm picking on him. Let's pick on somebody. Let's say just Lagway. I don't care. Throw somebody else on that Vandy team. It's just they don't play like this. I can't. It's amazing how much one player's personality can just permeate an entire team. But Vandy is physical. They're fast. They're cocky. I mean, Pavia is one of the most valuable players in the country. And I bring that up because I feel like Florida State might have a similar dude, right?
Yeah.
He's similar kind of player, too. Makes plays with his feet, talks, is fun-loving, is a leader. Like, I just watching Vanderbilt, man, that guy's a very good coach. Beamer, again, is a lunatic. He went off on the sidelines for some call he didn't like. And he looks like a child trying to get out of a timeout every time he's upset. And if he realized how horrible that is for his team when he reacts like that, he'd stop doing it, but he doesn't. It's why they lost the bowl game, because he loses his ever-loving mind.
Yeah.
And then his team and his fans become more worried about the refs and how they're getting screwed than actually playing the game because their leader, their head coach, is acting like a spoiled, whiny baby yelling and losing his mind for 5 minutes. And then juxtapose that with how his dad was. It's crazy just how his personality. But anyway, I was happy that they lost, but I'm really happy that Vanderbilt won. Like, they might be legit, man. That guy's a good coach. He's about the right things, but none of it matters if they don't have a quarterback that goes and makes plays and leads that team. And that dude absolutely leads that team.
Yeah.
But Virginia Tech, sorry.
Yeah, interrupting you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yuck. He probably needs to be fired. Like, I don't know how you come back from that. And one more thing. And another thing. I'm trying to get all the words out, folks. I'm not going to talk for a couple days about sports. There was a play in that game, and I saw it on Twitter. That's the only way I know. It was 28-0. I don't know, 30 seconds left to go in the half. Kenyon Drone scrambles on a 3rd and 7. Kyron, sorry.
Yeah.
Is scrambling on a 3rd and 7. He gets 6 yards and then slides down.
Yeah.
Man, what does that say?
Yeah.
Like, again, what does that say about – because, Castellanos isn't doing that. Pavey is not doing that. Stockton and Haynes King aren't doing that.
Nope.
They're going and getting the first down, even if it's a little bit of contact. That kid slides down short of the marker.
And he's big. He's
a big dude, man, and it's an Old Dominion defender. I think Pry calls a timeout thinking he got a first down, which he didn't. I think they go for it on fourth down, don't get it, and Old Dominion goes and kicks a field. I think that's how it ended up. But anyway, the whole aspect of sliding short of the marker, that's such a bad look when it's third down or fourth. You know what I mean? That's just a crazy thing to do, and that speaks volumes about what's wrong with that team right now. And, yeah, they're in a spiral. So that game, which we thought was going to be tricky, looks a lot less tricky as we sit here and talk in the middle of September. A lot less tricky. That looks like it. That looks like almost the most surefire W on the schedule right now. Maybe. I mean, I think obviously then the one coming up this Saturday. By the way, tough loss for Kent State this weekend.
Oh, what happened?
Well, they lost to Buffalo 31-28. But they hung with Buffalo, right?
Fighting,
that's something.
Man. They're fighting. Yeah. Hope your Saturday went better than the Saturday stew by Salon. We'll figure out 10 other ones we can throw at you next weekend that you'll win. I think it was over before it even started, right, guys? I think I told you to go over on 2.5 touchdowns for Cade Klubnik through the air. But listen, if they would have gone to overtime, Anyhow, new day. Let's throw some money at the wall. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs at the Texans tonight as part of a doubleheader of Monday Night Football. 1.5 passing touchdowns. Let's go higher. Let's go out to the desert, Las Vegas. The Chargers taking on the Raiders. Ladd McConkey, 5.5 receptions, higher. Justin Herbert, 255.5 passing yards, higher. Ashton Genty, running back for the Raiders. Half rushing and receiving touchdown. Let's go higher. $10, those four, $69.30. You can also do the flex if you want to be guarded against things. So if you only get one wrong, you'll get your money back. But if you get them all right, you're only going to win $40 as opposed to the $60. Download the Underdog Fantasy Sports app today and sign up with promo code WARCHANT to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo WARCHANT. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays and picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Form and function, fit and futuristic. Ditch the old clunky stale wallet for a wallet from Ridge. Featuring premium materials for a premium feel. It'll be the last wallet you're ever going to buy because Ridge comes with a lifetime warranty. Oh, yeah, and free shipping. And a 99-day risk-free trial. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off at Ridge by using code WAKEUP at checkout. Just head to ridge.com and use the code WAKEUP, and you're all set. I like this thing, guys. I've got better lower body mobility. Is it because I haven't been sitting on a wallet for like the last 6 months, or is it because I've been doing a little bit more mobility workout at the gym? I don't know, but it fits right into your front pocket. Piece of cake. And I'm not skinny jean guy. Okay, let's be honest. Like, I know you guys think my fashion styles might be a little too flamboyant, but I don't wear skinny jeans. But I wear slim fit stuff, and it fits perfectly. So if you got the baggy stuff, piece of cake, front pocket, all good. When you do your check before you leave the house, you won't have to tap the back of your back. You'll just be like, front pocket, I'm good to go. Check out Ridge, ridge.com. Use the promo code WAKEUP to save 10% off your order. We're back. It's Wake Up Warchant. We are presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com, warchantbogo, your promo code. Last kind of the thought here, Corey, as we decamp for a day or two. You'll be back for Seminole Headlines on Tuesday, yes?
Don't know.
No,
I won't. But we might move it to Wednesday is my hope. Okay. But again, this is something I don't know for sure.
Okay. One of the other things that I took away from watching all the games was, and I'm not trying to defend myself here. Like I clearly was wrong about my preseason prognostication on what Florida State would be. I think they were going to be horrible, but did I think I'd be talking about playoff? I mean, the successful season to me was being in the playoff hunt in November. I didn't realize I would know that pretty much was going to be a certainty, it seems like, being here in September. But every game I watched, I heard a name where I'm like, I know that name. And it's like, that was a kid that Florida State recruited out of the portal this past season. The kid from A&M that went nuts, Mario Craver, I think that was somebody they prioritized and they felt good about, but then they lost out on him. I don't know if Concepcion was a guy they really legitimately had a shot at, but he was obviously at A&M. The kid from LSU, the defensive end, Pyburn, that was at Florida. Like, they were in the mix trying to get him.
Yeah.
Saw Keelan Marion make a nice catch against USF for Miami. Tony Johnson, the return guy, I thought he was primarily a return guy from Cincinnati, but he caught like a 3rd and 8 pass that pretty much iced the game. I think, USF had scored and made like a 3-score game, and maybe here come the Bulls, but they converted a huge 3rd down. Like, he caught it. And that was so much part of my calculus, Corey, was like, listen, I trust Gus Malzahn and Tony White and Mike Norvell to a certain degree, but like, all these guys they went after, like they were missing out on a lot of these guys. Like AJ Halsey's a guy that's at LSU and doing fantastic. So I'm like, man, like, not only is this a whole new staff, but it feels like at some positions they probably went to maybe plan B. And, I probably brought this up on a few shows. I just remember this one guy got hired when I was in Mississippi at a high school. And the high school was planning on taking this guy from like the preeminent top team in the entire state for like the last 10 years. They thought they were getting him. That was the buzz out there. They don't get him. They get the other guy. And the athletic director or the superintendent of the school district was like, there's reports out there that we were maybe going after somebody else. And I can probably speak to this fact. As many men in this room, I may have not been my wife's first choice, but I hope that I was her best choice. And I was like, yeah, because like that was not who their first option was. He ends up winning a state championship with Cam Akers as his running back. But like Florida State maybe didn't hit on all the guys they wanted, but they've somehow put together a team that's going to be, 8th or 9th in the country. And man, if you're able to put together a team where you're maybe coming off a bad season, maybe don't have all the financial resources everybody else does, but you're still killing it the way they are. I mean, I don't know how much of that's just Tommy or just good fortune kind of on the Noles right now.
Well, look, I think it says something about their evaluation skills. It's not like they went and got scrubs to replace the guys they maybe were their first choices. It's really threefold, man. Like I think that's number one. They still had really good options, even if they missed out on a couple guys they really wanted. It also shows how just talented the pool is. Like there's a lot of really good football players out there at all levels that you can go get that can play for you. And so you look even like guys like if Earl Little wanted to transfer after this past year, where could he have gone?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I guess he could have. A place would have taken a flyer on him, but but he can play clearly. Some guys, it's just about getting opportunities and getting the right opportunity in the right defense. And they were very good at evaluating who they had on the roster and then guys that they needed. And then I don't know who they wanted on the offensive line, but they seem to have gotten 4 guys that can really that are experienced, older, mature, and have meshed well together, with that center being the absolute key to it all. But then also, obviously, when you're Florida State and you're coming off what you're coming off, and there's all this upheaval in your coaching staff, and they hired Gus Malzahn and Tony White, I don't know, man, a week before the portal opened. But so they had to hit the ground in a dead sprint to go get people in this guys that they had known about that were going to be in the portal. That all of a sudden were like, well, who are these guys that are recruiting me now? And so they might have lost out on guys that maybe had been planning to go to Florida State, and then there's this big upheaval. I don't know if a lot of people said no to Florida State because Adam Fuller and Alex Atkins weren't there anymore, but you get the point. Like, it was a brand-new staff right in the middle of that crazy frenetic pace where you're trying to get guys that are in the portal and you have 2 weeks to do it. Now imagine this same staff was able to evaluate and lure some very good people to come to Florida State. Now what is this same staff, if it's together, knock on wood, this offseason, all of it's still together, and you're coming off a much better season? Well, how alluring is that going to be? And what they get to use their evaluation skills even better. Like, okay, do we want an NFL first-round pick, or do we want 2 NFL second- to third-round picks? You know what I mean? Like, how do we need to spend our money to get us the best roster? What they did in their evaluation, the offensive line, all of it. What they did in their evaluation, to me, should fill Florida State fans with a lot of hope and encouragement. Now let's see what it looks like. Now that they have the ship righted, how much better are they going to? The pool gets bigger and deeper and more full when you're coming off dare I say 9, 10, 11 win season as opposed to a 2-win season. And I trust these guys, the whole staff. I'm now back on board where I trust them implicitly to go get good players again.
Explicitly, you trust them, I feel like, too, right?
Yes. Well, yes. I'm always explicit in all my thoughts.
All right, that's a wrap for us. Yeah, man, it's a bright future for Florida State. Listen, last year we're looking forward to just getting this thing over with and all the new pieces we can get, which is kind of cool in its own regard. But thinking about games in November and what they're going to mean and chasing a playoff seed is, I don't think we saw it coming, but it's awesome. So let's keep this thing rolling. Go to warchant.com for more. Jeff Cameron Show 1 to 4 o'clock. We'll be back later on in the week. We'll probably resume with a live show on Wednesday, but we'll figure all that out and we'll let you know over on warchant.com. Corey, go have some fun out there. Good luck on the tables, big dog.
I don't need it. I always dominate when I go to casinos, Aslan. You know that. But hey, and by the way, congratulations to you and Abby. Can't wait for the bachelor party.
Thank you, buddy. He's Corey Clark. I'm Aslan Hajavani. Thanks for listening to Wake Up War Chant, presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com.